Welcome back, guys, to Talk Miley to Me. I'm Molly,
And I am Becky.
and we're here to talk Miley Cyrus, Disney legend, to you.
Miley Cyrus, the Disney legend.
The youngest Disney legend ever. And did I know that that was even a thing before this year? No, but now I do.
I had no idea that this was a thing, and apparently it's been going on for years.
Yeah, this is like the
Apologies to all the
23rd.
other,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. It's whatever.
It throws
Oh
me
my
off
God.
because it was like D23 was like the event, but it's 2024. So that kind of
Okay, so
sucks. Like, did you look into
no,
this?
yes, I did. So it's not that this is like the 23rd one. D23 is like whatever. Okay, so D23 is like a fan club sort of thing, like a very, very high level exclusive fan club. And it's called D23 because something happened in 1923 that they're referencing.
Oh my God, I'm so dumb.
That's all I know. I don't,
No, that's more
that's
than I know.
just the baseline right there. But because I was like, what the hell? Why do they keep saying D23? Yes, it's 2024. And also, in my head before watching, I was like, oh yeah, the 23rd season of Disney. Wrong. What?
I know.
So I think that that's what that is.
No, that's interesting that I probably should have looked into it before doing this episode. I was just so focused on literally only Miley. But at first I thought, yeah, it was like, I thought maybe, oh, they started this in like 2001. But you said it's like a fan club for Disney adults.
Yeah, it is. I think so. I
For
think
Disney
so.
adults.
That's what I
Yeah.
understood.
Cool. Well, I mean, we'll still take it. So exciting. So we're recording this episode the day after Miley Cyrus was announced the youngest person to become a Disney legend ever. So we're recording this on August 12th, and the award ceremony was last night on August 11th. And then this will come out, a few days after we record. But I don't know. So what did we initially expect? We were definitely clowning, and we were like, oh my gosh, what if she performs? Which we know that we were clowning for really thinking like she would be doing that, but we really didn't even know if she was going to attend the event at all.
I was really, I knew that she would attend
Yeah.
it. I think that this is like a big deal, and that I knew that she would be there. I wasn't expecting, and maybe it's just because I didn't want to get my hopes up, a performance. And then we could talk about like how the whole night went, but I now understand exactly why she didn't. All of the speculations that are like, there's going to be a performance of the best of both worlds. And so all of us preparing for Miss Mylene, but there still was a performance of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, there was. So I actually was watching the live stream on someone's TikTok. And I think so I was watching this live stream for, I swear, like 40, it might have been like an hour before she ended up coming out. Like I was sitting there, like my boyfriend was making me watch Lord of the Rings 2. I've never watched that. And I said, okay, I'm going to watch this, but I have to keep an eye on this random person's TikTok because if she comes out, like we have to pause it. Like we got to do an intermission of this movie. And he was just like, eye roll, whatever.
He's used to it at this point.
He's used to it. Like,
over it.
Yeah, like come on, this is my side gig. I have to be serious about this.
Yes.
And so I have to do my research. And so I was waiting, and it ended up being like, oh, I saw Lindsay Lohan come out with Jamie Lee Curtis, and I was like, oh, that's so sick, like so perfect. Who else? Oh, there were like 4 or 5 people. I won't get too deep into it. And everyone in the comments of this TikTok live was like, where's Miley? Where's Miley? So annoyingly that the person that was recording the TikTok live ended up shutting the comments off until Miley came out, because they were just like, shut the fuck up, basically. I'm sure.
I love that.
It was like, Miley, where's Miley? Miley better be next. I was like, guys, everyone has to have their moment,
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
But the Smilers were like ready. And then finally she comes out, and well, she didn't come out. Ryan Seacrest, this is when I knew that she was about to be like honored. Was Ryan Seacrest was up there, and he said something I'm going to butcher this, but he said something along the lines of like, we were first introduced to this next legend when she was 13 years old. And I said, oh,
here we
yep,
are.
Yep.
Here we go.
And I said, cut the movie.
Deadass.
Actually, luckily the movie ended like right before this happened. So it all worked out. But
serendipitous.
Yes, exactly. And I just like watched on this little shitty live stream the show. They did like a, like a video. And have you watched the video?
Yeah, I have watched it maybe 17 times today.
Oh my God. I need like the high quality version.
It's the only thing that's on my feed, and every single time I scroll past, I will watch every single whatever length of footage it is. I have watched the whole thing the entire day. I've had the day off. I've been rotting.
Oh, good.
And so rotting and consuming Miley Cyrus as I should. I actually did watch the whole thing on Disney Plus.
Yep.
It came out at like 4 p.m. today. And so I did watch, and I watched the whole thing. And it really was just like a whole beautiful ceremony for all. I didn't know many of the people because they're just behind the scenes Disney people, which is just so incredible that they're being honored on the same stage as like some of the other people. And also the fact that Harrison Ford and Miley Cyrus are getting inducted at the same time, that is just absolutely crazy. Wild.
It is wild. Like the GP's like, what the fuck, probably.
Yeah. No, actually some of them are. It's pissing me off on
that'll have to be another thing we talk about. Yeah. Okay, continue.
But I didn't even consider the fact that there would be a live stream last night. I just kind of thought it would be just like this underground thing and that there literally wouldn't even be videos of it. So I lay in bed, I turned the light off, and I'm doing my last doom scroll before I shut my eyes, before getting some rest, and all these videos start popping up, and I was like, oh my God. And so part of me was like, oh, I don't want to spoil it. I want to watch the whole thing. Yeah. But no, I couldn't help myself, and I watched just the grainy videos on Twitter and on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I never got the full speech front to top to bottom or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just got like little clips of it, and like I'm laying in my bed with tears streaming down my face.
Literally.
And then
same.
So I woke up this morning, first thing I did, blasting This Is the Life.
Oh my God, same. Yeah, I listened to that last night too.
I listened to the whole Hannah Montana soundtrack, the first one, to start my day. And then I went about my day scrolling, watching the videos, crying, watching the next video, crying. I'm not kidding you when I say every single time I have scrolled past that video, I have shed a tear. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not over exaggerating here. I have cried every time I watched it. Then I sat on my couch and I tried to watch it. That's when I didn't know it didn't come out until 4. So this is like 1:32. And I was like, well, what else am I going to do? I'm on Disney Plus. Oh, I'm going to begin watching Hannah Montana. I haven't watched Hannah Montana in so long, so I started from the top. And it's just, I was
watching that before this podcast too.
I've just been so appreciative of like Miley's earliest work today. That's just,
oh my God, yeah.
It's been so sweet to go back and watch all that. So I will be making my way through Hannah Montana now that I've started, and then right before I turned it on and actually sobbed.
No, it's fun to watch. So we put it on for our dog every time we leave. Like, I just always put that on. And so whenever I come home, I just leave it on while I do whatever. Like, while I cook dinner, I just watch it. Like, I just ate dinner watching, the episode in season 3 where that nerdy kid asks her to prom.
Oh,
and she's like, yeah, that's what I was just watching.
Oh my God.
And my boyfriend just gets to just also watch it.
I remember most of the episodes, but you don't remember like every single line in them. It was making me laugh.
Oh yeah, honestly, I know. I'm like, am I biased or is this a good TV show?
I know. No, am I biased or like they don't make TV shows like this anymore?
They don't make kids TV shows like this anymore. No. There's no way. And I'm not. I don't think I'm just saying that. I think that's like a fact.
No, actually,
I don't know.
The quality of it. Seriously, I agree. That time was just unmatched, and it's not because we're biased. Because
I don't think so.
From that time period, I was telling my dad. My dad came over today. We were hanging out, and I was telling him about trying to tell him that Miley was, the Disney legend. She's the youngest one. And he looked up and he's like, why? And I was like, have you ever heard of Hannah Montana? And he's like, oh, duh, right. He's like, that was a good show. And that was like a really tolerable show to sit down and watch with you girls, like while you were growing up. I didn't mind watching that with you. Especially the episode. Yeah. He goes, especially the episode when Billy Ray farted on the couch. And I was like, what?
Like, which one? I feel like there was multiple. Yeah.
I'm sure it was, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
That's
remember
such a, like,
that scene.
Yeah,
but
that's such a specific scene.
That may be the only thing my dad remembers about that show, but.
See, my dad really liked Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, he just thought he was, like, cool, you know? So that's why he would like it. He would watch it with me. Yeah. I would make him, but yeah. Well, he took me to see the Best of Both Worlds concert tour movie.
Oh yeah.
In 3D, and we went to this like random mall. We were like out of town, and I was like, I have to see it. He took me to this mall, and he fell asleep. As he should, I guess. And he was snoring, and I was so embarrassed. I remember I was like, Dad, wake up. I was like, but it was like the best day of my life. Yeah. Anyway, so they showed this like monologue video of just like going through her life, and we didn't know this I didn't know it at the time of watching the live stream, but you see pictures now of her just like crying, like trying not to cry, but obviously she's crying watching this.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to mention, in attendance with her, Brandy and Tish, of course, because they're always like, they're like her number one supporters. I think, I mean, obviously she is the closest with them out of anyone in her family. Yeah. And then Dominic Purcell was there. There was no Max.
No, there's no Max.
I was surprised about that, but I saw his family like posted stories like congratulating her.
Oh, good.
So they're definitely still together. But I also think he's kind of just like I kind of like them because he's definitely not in it for the fame. You can tell.
That's true.
Like he'd be at more of these events with her, whereas like for the most part, besides the Grammys, like she goes to a lot of these things without him, I feel like.
Yeah, you're right, because to be on Miley Cyrus's arm would get him so much attention.
And I don't think he likes that.
Us crazy fans, like, we know who he is, and like, do I follow him on Instagram just because he's dating Miley Cyrus? Yes.
Well, yeah.
But like, normal people would only do that if he was around more frequently, I feel like.
I agree.
So I think you're right that does make it a little bit sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of giving me like, not exactly this, but Dolly Parton's husband, Carl, who we never see.
Nobody knows.
Kind of giving me the same vibe. But Dom was there, and people were like, oh my God, the nerve of her to bring her stepdad instead of her actual dad who was on the show with her. Yeah, you're like, yeah. I know, I didn't think of it like that. But I was like, girl, you wildin' for that. So but she's sitting there.
Wrong, but he was wearing a t-shirt and a hat.
Oh my God, but no, because I actually saw this. I saw for sure the hat, and I just figured, it looked like he had a t-shirt on. Yeah, he just gives no fucks.
None.
Like, he's just like a surfer dude from Australia.
Right. Yeah.
No, he was definitely wearing like a trucker hat type of thing. Yeah. I just feel like he does his own thing. But so after the monologue ends, we like see like a band, and I was like, oh my God, like, wait, I just saw Miley in the crowd. What's this gonna be? Lainey Wilson comes out on stage, and she's wearing, that picture of Hannah Montana from the Best of Both Worlds tour where she has like the jean jacket and the tie and the jean pants. She's basically wearing like a throwback outfit to that. It's kind of like that kind of version. And she has a cowboy hat on. Her hair is like long and blonde. And she gives like a little speech. She's basically, and I knew this already, but she talks about the fact that she used to be a Hannah Montana impersonator before she got famous. And a lot of people didn't realize that. It's interesting because you didn't?
No.
A lot of people didn't know who she was.
I don't think she's that big.
She's not that big, but like, I don't know.
I
I knew
can't.
about the Hannah Montana thing, and everyone in the TikTok was like, "Who is this random woman?" um, and I knew her also because she was just, I mean, she was just on a song with Brandy Cyrus.
Yeah.
Brandy just released her first remix, and it was of Wild Horses by Lainey. I'm not like a Lainey Wilson stan or anything, but I guess I just know her from the culture.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like, I think Lainey and Brandy are probably friends. Um, and the fact that Lainey used to be a Hannah Montana impersonator is iconic too. I don't know. It was like, I get why she didn't perform, like you said, because it's kind of like she didn't go there to do work.
Exactly.
She didn't
She
go there
was
to do
there
work.
to
Yeah.
enjoy herself and to be celebrated, to sit
Yes.
there and be and enjoy everything and take it in what they were doing for her. Everything
Yes.
that was there is for her and not for
Yeah.
her to have,
Like
yes,
work
like, to
on.
work.
Yeah.
To work because
Yeah.
that is her job.
Yeah. And that kind of hit me while I was like watching the initial like ceremony, like before she came out, when they were, you know, honoring Jamie Lee Curtis and Harrison Ford. I was like, oh, okay. I kind of got like the vibe of the whole thing because I really didn't know what it was. And it's very elegant type of event. Like you said, it's honoring the person. So it makes sense she wouldn't be performing. I think Lainey Wilson did a great job. It kind of baffles me that she used to impersonate Hannah Montana because I don't feel like, so she did Best of Both Worlds. And I know like I've done like lip syncing battles and stuff in college to this song.
Yes.
And she missed a lot of like essential parts of this song, I think, in like the presentation of it.
I agree. I thought
Like
that
the
her
day, like she
performance,
could have, you used to impersonate Hannah Montana. Like you don't know that she does kind of the like you don't know the choreography a little bit more.
right,
Do you know what I
right.
mean? That's
Yeah.
me being very harsh. That's just me being very harsh.
I think that she wasn't in that moment trying to fully recreate
Impersonate, yeah,
and impersonate. I
for
think that
sure.
she was still putting her own
She definitely was.
spin on it, especially because I was
Yes.
like, you forgot the wow in the back.
Did she even say, "Is that Orlando Bloom"?
She said, is that Glenn Powell?
Did she really?
Yeah.
How did I miss that? The
Yeah.
2024 version.
Yes, exactly.
The 2020. Okay, that's pretty iconic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, it's like, and this was me. You watched the actual produced version. I watched the TikTok live, so
Yeah.
I didn't see all the details. Um, but yeah, I definitely like. She has a very distinct voice,
Mm-hmm.
and she definitely had that come out, which I love her voice. But I guess I was just like, oh, like you didn't do. I don't know. You didn't really impersonate her, which that's not. I guess it's whatever. But I saw
I
her dressed like her, so I was like, oh, it's gonna be like an ode back to your impersonation days. But it is
sure.
what it is.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. And I don't, yeah. But they could have picked anyone, and I feel like they could have picked a bigger name. But the fact that she used to impersonate Hannah Montana to then come
Yeah.
out and say, like, you inspired me to come
Mm-hmm.
and start my career, and I started because of you, that is
Yep.
just so special.
I think so
And
too, and I think that made her emotional too.
yeah, she said, I used to do the opening act as Miley Cyrus and then go backstage and change into me, or Hannah Montana rather, and then change into me. And so, like, she also had her own Best of Both Worlds tour, which is so fun and so awesome
Yeah.
because it really is every single person's dream. And she's just a lucky girl.
Yeah, you just did it really good.
Thank you.
That was a good impersonation.
Thank you.
No, yeah, I don't think she deserved a lot of the hate that she was initially getting for the performance. I think people were just mad that it wasn't Miley because there was this kind of like excitement, like, oh, it might be Miley. And we also felt the same way. But I think looking back, hopefully people aren't too harsh on her because I think it was a really nice thing for her to like set aside time to do. And give the speech and everything. And I think she did a good job.
And when you watch the produced version, they do pan over to Miley several times, and you can see how much she is enjoying watching and
she was like
enjoying
dance singing.
being, and
I saw those clips.
crying and dancing and lip singing along. Like that was the moment that the tears began. Okay?
For sure.
So then, Lainey Wilson wraps it up, and she invites Miley on stage to do her speech.
Okay. Also, before we're going to play the speech, we're going to react to it, even though we've already, obviously watched it. But the outfit choice, the hair, we really didn't know what to expect. There were these rumors circling that maybe she dyed her hair blonde again. She didn't. It was giving very much the M Magazine type of hair.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit of highlights. Very Miley Stewart.
Yeah.
Miley Stewart, season 5 of Hannah Montana.
It was just like a straight blowout.
Yeah, and she had her
with
little
her highlights.
No, it actually
kind of. No, you're right. It kind of did look like season 1 Miley Stewart. I was just watching today, and she had like these tiny little, just like highlights of like streaks. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely got that vibe. Her makeup, her skin, everything looked flawless. Like
there's something about Miley Cyrus in a blazer with nothing under it. It slays every single
But it looked
time.
elegant still. It looked elegant still.
No, it always does. She does this look a lot.
She does.
And I really, really, really love it on her.
Yeah. And somebody was asking, a lot of people were like, what's wrong with her arm? What's the thing on her arm? Did you see there was like a... Yes. I think it's just the fashion.
I think it was
it's
fashion.
The look.
Our friend Josie sent it to me, and she's like, I'm here to ask the expert. Is this like a brace? Or is it fashion?
People thought
and I'm like, it's fashion, I'm pretty sure.
It's like, it's just not...
That was
definitely LA fashion, yeah.
Yeah, and it was the only really accessory she was wearing other than like some rings. She didn't have huge earrings or a necklace on even, so that was
her makeup was simple.
That was her bling, yeah.
Yeah. But I think she looked so good.
Her makeup was simple, but it was face carding.
Face card, no cash, no credit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. You ready to
guys,
watch this again?
I'm gonna cry again, I bet.
And we'll, of course, we'll add our little 2 cents where it's needed.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Miss Martha, I am not as strong as you. I am definitely going to cry.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop it so early, but I saw someone on Twitter look at this and say, this is like the Mount Rushmore for the girlies and the gays.
Oh, yes, I saw that too. And it is.
And why was my first thought was, where's Bangersley?
Oh my god!
Like, of course, they weren't going to add Bangersley.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So just like a couple speeches before hers was a woman named Martha who was also getting inducted in, and she very, very special woman. She was like the first Black worker in one of whatever role that she was in. It was just this incredible story, and she's done so much at Disney. But she got up on stage and she was like, I promised myself I wouldn't cry, but this is going to be really hard. And she was like able to keep it together. So that's why Miley just looked at her over there and said, I'm not as strong as you. I'm going to cry. And then she cried.
As she should. As she should.
Yeah.
All right.
Before I get started, I'm going to let everybody in on a little Disney legend secret. I'm the one that tells you what you're not supposed to know. And what I want to say is that legends get scared too. I'm scared right now. But the difference is we do it anyway. And all of you can do that every single day. It's legendary to be afraid and do it anyway. There is no such thing as failure when you try. That's the only way you lose. The way to win is to try. So here I am.
Okay. And when I first heard her say this, is this not what we've been talking about, like most of this year, about her saying she's really kind of just scared to be in front of a big audience, and like she's training herself to get back to that point to where she was, like before COVID.
Yeah.
That's initially what I thought of, and it made me really happy for her because she understands like she needs to just like it's kind of like she's not giving up on herself.
Yeah.
And she's saying that in real time. And honestly, it inspires me so much. Like anytime I need a pep talk, I'm gonna just put this on.
No, like actually. She said it in the most perfect way, because people make this point all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the way that she said it, and the way that she said, I'm scared right now, and then you can see it. You can see that she is sincere. And then you can also see her like powering through it and still being the badass that she is, which she's about to say.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll show you. I made 2 speeches. One long, if I'm the badass that I'm supposed to be, and one short, if I get scared. So I want to say thank you. It's such an honor to receive this award. My other legends have said it best. It is all because of you. Everyone in this room, outside of this room, it's all about the fans. And in 2005, Disney was on a mission to rebuild and reimagine the company. That's why they hired Bob Iger and me. I remember this clearly because it was during the auditioning process of Hannah Montana. There was a buzz in that Burbank Disney office where it's rumored that they create all of us Disney kids. I definitely wasn't created in a lab, and if I was, there must have been a bug in the system which caused me to malfunction somewhere between the years of 2013 and 16. Sorry, Mickey.
We had to pause it right there because that was the most iconic line I think she said the whole night.
Yes.
This is also another one where it kind of made people mad so annoyingly. Yeah. Because she's obviously joking. People were like, you need to own bangers. You need to own dead pets. Like,
and her saying that is doing that.
She's obviously just very self-aware and very aware of the fact that, during that time, there was kind of that like, Disney Channel doesn't want to like own Miley because, you just had to be there. And if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. She wore the Rip Hannah Montana shirt. It was like she's all of a sudden not a role model. No, and she was doing very explicit things. Yeah.
Right. And her saying that is the same way that she wrote the song Used to Be Young. Her acknowledging that happened, and she's not saying that she's not proud of it. She's very much still proud of it. And she's like picking fun at the people who acted like it was this big deal. And here she is as this composed woman, grown now and still on stage with these Disney legends, accepted by Disney still.
Which is
regardless
insane.
Of what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's just like we all now know, she was just being in her in her early 20s. She was just growing up. She was literally like 20, 21 when Bangers came out. Like, what do you expect? And so I just saw people on Twitter were like, so annoying. Why does she try to act like this time doesn't happen anymore? And I'm like, no, she does.
No.
Also, some of you bitches cannot take a joke.
Yeah, literally.
Anyway, but I thought that was so iconic.
No, I thought it was fun.
I was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee, which is where I sent my audition tapes from. After those tapes were sent in, my mom got a message that what I sent was great, but I was just too small and I was too young for the part. A year or more goes by and I forget all about Hannah Montana. But then we get a call and they tell us that they fully casted the show. They've already shot a pilot, but the show just isn't working. So they want me to come out to LA and audition in person. My mom tells me the news, but reiterates that if I get it, I'm gonna have to leave school and all of my friends. So we go to the mall to shop for what I'd wear to the audition. And in true fashion of fate, there hangs a t-shirt that says I should have my own TV show. So we took it home, bedazzled it, and flew out to LA. After a few of those auditioning trips, I got the part. I came out to California to shoot the pilot. I fell in love with LA, the beach, the palm trees. They were awesome, but it was the sound stage that I lived for. I mean, it was the most beautiful place that I had ever seen. There were lights, dressing rooms, the wardrobe racks. There were costume fittings, wig fittings, acting, dance, vocal lessons. It was like being on RuPaul's Drag Race Junior.
Okay, the fact that I love that comparison too. Maybe my second favorite part of the whole speech, her referring to it as RuPaul Drag Race Junior.
She is so obsessed. And you cut it off right before she was going to say it, but then she goes, and I won.
Yeah, no, for sure. And she definitely did. It's just so cute. And she said, I took home the shirt and I bedazzled it. And it's like very funny because when she's at things like this and she gives these speeches, it's like the fan base already knows a lot of this stuff.
Right.
But hearing her talk about it is still kind of surreal.
No,
because
actually,
it's like she remembers
yeah,
like what we know.
Hearing her like actually tell the story, like just I don't know, it makes it even more real. And
yeah,
I hear it as it's new information, even though I'm like, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, like the shirt was so iconic.
Yes.
That is like the best shirt you could wear to a audition, the
Truly.
TV show audition.
So something I was thinking about too during this moment is that poor girl who originally shot the pilot.
For real, like, have we found her? Who is that?
Is she okay?
Is she okay?
Because
yeah.
Miley talks about this all the time, saying
Yeah.
like, yeah, they shot the pilot and it just didn't work, so they needed me, and look at me now. And it's like, oh God, how bad was she?
And she literally talks about how like they put it in front of children to do like a study to see if it like resonated with the children, and it didn't. Oh, the way I would fall out.
I know. I hope that she went on to even bigger, better things. I wonder if we'll ever find out. But like, oh,
she definitely didn't go on to bigger things. Like, what's bigger than Hannah Montana?
Right.
But I hope she's happy wherever she's at.
Yeah.
Whoever that is.
And I won. We shot the pilot. I went back to Nashville to wait, but I had gotten a taste of what my life could be like. And from that moment on, I did not want anything else. So when I was told that the show got picked up, I just couldn't wait to get back to stage 9. But because Hannah Montana is a pop star, we needed footage of her playing sold out concerts. But no one knew who she, AKA Miley, was. So they gave away tickets at the Glendale Mall, where I would have my first free concert. And the first song I opened with was titled, This Is the Life. Which of course no one knew, because in reality I was a little girl in a blonde wig at the mall with a big dream, but in my heart I was Hannah Montana. And I was so proud to be. A little bit of everything has changed since that day. But at the same time, nothing has changed at all. I stand here still proud to have been Hannah Montana because she made Miley in so many ways. This award is dedicated to Hannah and all of her amazing, loyal fans, and to everyone who has made my dream a reality. To quote the legend herself, this is the life. Thank you.
And what, like literally what a better way, like there's no better way to end that speech than what she did. Like that was just such a good speech through and through. And do we know if that was the long one or the short one?
I don't. When she flipped the paper around, they looked very similar in length, so I don't know exactly what she was talking about, but I
did see
wonder.
there was a little bit of like a more of a gap at the bottom of one side. But like I guess they put it on the teleprompter.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know it. I don't know which version it was.
I mean,
it doesn't matter because it was perfect.
It was perfect. And her ending on This Is the Life. Literally, like I just started tearing up again, even though I've seen that so many times.
No, I was tearing up, whole body and chills oh my God. No, it was the way she goes, and I was so proud to be. And I feel like when you're watching the footage of her as a 13-year-old being Hannah Montana, all you see is the confidence and a child really having so much fun, and like the back, the behind the scenes stuff. She's just having so much fun. And I think that it's hard to see, like, almost for a child to portray pride.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't even know how to put into words what I'm thinking, right, or what I'm feeling. But like, I don't know, just to hear her say, like, as a child, I was so proud to be
excited.
Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
And then her saying, and I'm standing here still proud to have been.
Still, that's what really like made me emotional, just because of like the journey she's been on. It's like, it's kind of been a roller coaster. And so, yeah.
She said, Hannah made Miley in so many ways. And that got
which I totally believe her. I totally believe her on that too. But yeah.
I'm just...
So good.
So good. This Is the Life has just skyrocketed up to my favorite Hannah Montana song.
It's always been one of my favorites. It's just so like feel good, and I don't know. It's always a really good one. Okay, so after that, she obviously did she went backstage and did the hand printing.
Yeah.
We got photos of her with Mickey Mouse, which I really did not think was going to happen. I woke up this morning to my feed just filled with that.
She called him over. She was getting her pictures taken, and she's like, Mickey, come over here.
Oh, so good.
I think it's just the way that she's the youngest Disney legend right now, and the first, if we're going to get more of her generation of her like TV show. And you see so many of like, the child actors that struggle later on in their life. And whatever, you can call it bangers, you can call it her Dead Pets era if you want to, but like really, obviously it wasn't that bad. And I think that like is really on Tish and Billy Ray, because they raised her so well through it. And I think part of it is the fact that Billy Ray was famous. I think that the children with the famous parents typically do better, but that's something else to think about.
I definitely like think a lot of it has to do with Tish.
Yeah.
And she's talked about it on their podcast a lot before, but like, she's like, yeah, I did treat Miley differently than the rest of my kids because she had a lot of power and a lot of like money. Like she could have, went off and lived on her own at 17, got like emancipated.
Right.
She could have done a lot of these things, but she wanted to not push Miley away. So it was kind of like she had to do this like balancing act with them both. And I think that is the only reason why she ended up the way she did.
Yeah, on the stage last night. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So we do have some listener questions.
Oh, okay.
So guys, if you want to be read on the podcast, usually like right before we record, like a day before we record, I'll post on our Instagram story to write us a submission and just share your thoughts, ask us questions, whatever that might be. And I have a feeling a lot of these are going to be about the event last night, but go ahead and kick us off, Becky.
Okay, great. So the first one says, hey, love your podcast. Thank you.
Thanks.
Can you tell me what's on her arm, please? And we did already touch on this, and I think it was just a fashion choice.
Yes. Yep. Agreed. And I did respond to that person too, because they like commented on one of our Instagram posts, and I said that, and they were like, "Oh, that makes sense." Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's a valid question. A lot of people were asking about that.
The way that it was like, it had
kind of random,
and it literally had like hinges to allow it to fold and stuff. Yeah.
She made robot a thing. Like Robot by Miley Cyrus can't be tamed. Like she took it a little too serious there.
Yeah, exactly. The next one is, what is your Hannah Montana top 3?
Oh my gosh, you're
Just
crazy.
right now.
Yeah.
No time for thinking.
You go first.
This is the Life.
Yeah.
I got Nerve.
Yes, you karaoke'd that.
I did karaoke that.
That's a good one.
That was very fun. And
it's so hard.
The Other Side of Me.
Yes. The Other Side of Me is one of mine, for sure. The Other Side of Me, I would say Don't Want to Be Torn.
Whoa,
like gets me so emotional.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Don't Want to Be Torn gets me emotional, gets me emo. And then, oh God, it's either between 1 in a Million or If We Were a Movie.
Oh,
probably 1 in a Million.
Yeah.
I like the Hannah deep cuts are like so overlooked, I feel like.
Yes, they are.
They're pretty emotional.
Everyone just thinks about like Nobody's Perfect and Who Said, those are fun ones, but like the deep cuts.
Yeah. And Rockstar. Rockstar's a good one too.
Oh, yep. See, we can't start doing this. Top 3 in your head, that's what they were.
Yep.
All right. Favorite quote from Miley's Disney Legends speech?
Oh.
If you could pick one of the quotes, what is it?
Well, I think I already said it. It was like, if I was made in a lab, I definitely malfunctioned somewhere between 2013 and 2016.
Yeah. Mine is just when she brings it home and says, to quote the legend herself, "This is the life."
So good.
To call Hannah Montana the legend
herself.
It is. Miley and Hannah are receiving this award. You know what I
agree.
mean?
Yeah.
So sweet. This one says, kind of sad that she didn't sing, but also the tribute to her was iconic.
It was so good.
Yeah. I obviously would always love a performance by Miley Cyrus, but I'm very glad that she didn't.
Yes. Yep.
I'm glad that she was able to sit there and enjoy.
Take it in. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's our Italian stan. Hi. It says it's your Italian stan here. I'm curious to know which Jaded Bridge you love the most.
Oh, the demo or the actual one?
I like the actual. I like the studio recorded.
I think I do too. Except I will say the demo was also very good, but I think the actual recording hits great too. Like I think it was what was meant to happen.
Okay, so in quotes it says, "Does she bring Hannah back at some point?" And then it says, "Said in Netflix interview, she'll always be her."
Yeah, for sure. No, I was gonna say, I think this is just more of a example that like she like she always has Hannah with her.
Yeah,
I think she always will.
Yeah, and it's just because she said Hannah made Miley in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been my runner-up favorite quote.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you do an episode on all of Miley's acting projects outside of High School Musical? What? It just says HM, so I was thinking HSM. We did actually.
Yeah,
we did a collab episode with our friends at the Sweet Niblets podcast, and we went through all of her other acting stuff. So
we definitely, I'm sure, at some point could probably do a refresh of that.
We could do a refresh of several of our old videos. I would love to do that
for sure. Yeah, so keep an eye out, but also go find that episode.
And to bring it home, this one says, an icon, a legend, and she is the moment. Now a total Disney legend.
Yes. Period. Was that the last one on Instagram?
Yeah. Lainey was great, but I wish it was Miley performing. I wonder if she was feeling the urge to get on stage and regret not singing it herself. I think that she was enjoying the performance and she's like always very supportive, and she's a fan of live music. So I think that she was just like enjoying it. Do you think that's like the first time that she's heard that song in a long time?
I do.
Do you think that song has ever been sang to her?
I don't know. Maybe not in that kind of like capacity. You know?
Yeah, right.
That's an interesting question.
I know that there was like a video of her, like maybe at a birthday party when there was Hannah Montana drag queens. Remember that video?
Oh, yeah.
So that was probably definitely saying then. But that's
Yeah.
definitely a different scale.
For sure. This is like yeah. Anyway.
Okay, and then the same person said, I was disappointed they didn't talk more about details or statistics of Miley and Hannah that brought to Disney, like her insane schedule, recording albums, tours, making billions.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it was needed, and she has done that in like past interviews leading up to this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, for sure.
They didn't really do that for any of the other legends, to be fair.
Yeah.
They just really were talking about everyone's talent and really the kind of personal things that they brought to Disney rather than statistics.
Like the analytics, yeah. Yeah. For sure.
But the whole ceremony was like really special, and I was emotional during the whole thing. Like I said, these people they were talking about, like I'm not a Star Wars fan, I'm not an Indiana Jones fan, but like I was getting emotional during the Harrison Ford montage and speeches about him too.
Becky is now a Harrison Ford stan.
Yeah, it's true.
Basically. Well, that was a good episode, though. I enjoyed being able to digest this amazing moment with you, Becky.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it all day.
Yeah, no, I've definitely, this has been consuming my entire life since it happened.
Yes, and will continue. Yeah.
Yes, we lucked out that we were able to record this episode literally like the day after.
Yeah.
Like, that never happens for us.
No.
So yeah, very exciting. As always, guys, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to watch. If you're listening to the audio version and you want to watch us and, see the videos and things that we throw in with the podcast episodes, make sure to hit us up on YouTube and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast, and make sure you have a great rest of your week.
Yeah.
Watch some Hannah Montana. Listen to some Hannah Montana. Respect the legend that she is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Anything else to add, Becky?
That's it. Miley Cyrus is a Disney legend.
Period. Okay, cool.
Bye.
All right, well, bye, guys. Stay safe. Love ya. Bye.